Hey there, Cosmic Warriors, and welcome back to another video. And if you are new here, my name is Hannah. I am a Western Practical Astrologer. Okay, so in today's video, we are going to be talking all about the symbol of Chiron. What does it really mean? Stay tuned and find out. But before we do dive into today's video, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button and click the bell. And if you are interested in any of my services, if you're interested in booking a reading with me, then you can visit my website, hannahselsewhere.com. There you can also find my practical astrology ebooks guide, merch, cheat sheets, all that good stuff. All the links to these products will be in the description box down below. And if you do want extra astrology content early, as well as access to daily forecasts and PDF guides, then you can always join the Patreon. Thank you so much to my patrons for all of your support. As always, I hope you find this video to be helpful today. Let's do this. Alright, so following my most recent video about the 7 centaurs in astrology, I wanted to share some useful information about the symbol of Chiron. Definitely be sure to check out that video for just more in-depth information about Chiron. But as you can see from this glyph, Chiron is shaped like a key with a large circle which represents spirit. It symbolizes our ability to heal and to also unlock our full potential in order to feel somewhat more whole. Now, this is not about being completely whole because I don't think that is entirely possible. So many philosophical questions even arise from this as well. But in my view, this is about feeling more whole, okay? This key-like glyph symbolizes an unlocking element to this minor planet. I also like to think of Chiron as, you're connecting puzzle pieces together. I see puzzle pieces as being very Chiron. An individual can, of course, use this key to unlock their fullest potential, but much like Chiron in the mythology could not heal himself, we too cannot necessarily heal ourselves. But it is our wound, it is our injury, it is our pain that helps us understand the very nature of pain. After all, the purpose of Chiron is to show an individual where they have been greatly wounded or damaged, so to speak, due to feelings of inadequacy, feelings of rejection, abandonment. But by becoming aware of this wound, an individual can seek ways of understanding these wounds in others. For example, if an individual was wounded by a previous lover or relationship, they can then perhaps identify this same wound in someone else who might be going through the same thing or a similar thing that they too experienced. Now, in this way, Chiron is often referred to as the wounded healer. Therefore, Chiron represents the mending or healing of wounds where an individual stitches themselves back up after a fall or after an uncomfortable situation. And we can also aid others. We can help others. I'm even thinking here about Sally from The Nightmare Before Christmas. How many of her body parts she stitching them back on. Anyway, that image just came into my mind. Now, Chiron seeks to figure out and solve problems, to analyze what is wrong, and to remove that which is toxic to the system. Cleansing, so to speak. And this makes Chiron a minor planet of deep healing, which focuses on health and maintenance, productivity, hygiene, systems. Chiron can show us the ways in which we fix and mend others in a way that not only serves other people, but also ourselves. But of course, this is a process. It is not straightforward. And like I said, there is also this element of living with our wounds as well. Now, the glyph here is also comprised of both the letter K and O, signifying object Kowal. Keeping in mind that it was Charles Kowal who discovered this planetary body Naturally, it's Chiron that acts as a bridge between Saturn and Uranus, meaning that this symbol can also be seen as a type of antenna, making Chiron a transmitter or a receiver of radio waves, showing you how realities intersect within your birth chart. Therefore, it is Chiron that can symbolize the connection the man has with universal laws and principles, just as Mercury can symbolize the connection that man has between their unconscious and conscious mind. This then makes Chiron both a spiritual and practical minor planet where we can implement actions designed to help us attend to anything within the physical world that might be causing us deep pain and suffering. Indeed, it is this minor planet Chiron that bridges the gap between the inner and outer planets, showing its function of integration, whereby which we can integrate universal principles into our everyday lives in practical, grounded, and realistic ways. Chiron seeks to restructure and to redefine that which already exists, and what we can do is we can figure out ways to improve upon these very things. Now, for more information about Chiron, do be sure to watch the Sagittarius mythology video and as well that Centaur video. I also have an entire series about Chiron through the houses, but just to finish off by exploring some tarot cards that I think can represent Chiron. Now, I have been doing this with the zodiac signs, so looking at the zodiac sign symbols, but I thought, why not Chiron as well? So these are the cards that I came up with. I was thinking that the Three of Swords represents Chiron, as well as the Hermit card. So let's turn our attention to the Three of Swords. This card looks at things like heartbreak and experiencing emotional pain, being hurt, being sort of wounded, feeling unsettled, thinking about hurt and even past wounds as well, and then suffering because of those thoughts. This can be quite a lonely card. We can feel separated, we can feel disconnected from others. And I think that these things are tied to Chiron quite well, because in the mythology, Chiron felt separated from others for his differentness. He was quite literally wounded as well, but he had to live with that wound. What comes to my mind for this one is that once a hurt or a wound occurs, depending on what it is, of course, well, it doesn't leave you. I go to grief. So grief isn't something that just magically disappears. It doesn't just vanish. It stays with you. And you never know when it's going to attack you, so to speak, okay? I think back to the anniversary of my dad's DEATH of this year, okay? That was not too long ago. And that was very difficult. That was very, very painful. But you see, this is about living with pain. Okay, we all live with pain. We all live with suffering in some way, shape, or form throughout our lives. Even consider the regrets that you have. Okay, regrets you have, mistakes you have made, or the people you have hurt, even if accidentally. Many people say, I have no regrets. I think we all have regrets, and it's okay to have regrets. But yes, again, such feelings do not disappear. They are to be worked through, okay? They are to be processed. But this isn't about intellectualizing the pain or the sorrow. It's about feeling. Feeling. Keep in mind, swords are tied to the mind in the tarot. But these three swords, they are piercing through the heart. And our heart can indeed break. We can feel the pain when our heart is broken, okay? Whether this be after a breakup, whether this be after the loss of a loved one, whether this be after doing something that we highly regret and we feel a lot of guilt for. But we can also lean on others. We can communicate our pain. We can connect with others who share similar wounds. This, I believe, is how Chiron shows up within our charts. Then, when we turn our focus toward the Hermit card, this card is so much about counsel, guidance, mentoring. We can be these figures for others, and others can be these types of figures for us. And in the mythology, Chiron was the wise sage, the wise teacher. And the hermit points toward that inner wisdom, that stillness, to be able to go within, to process, becoming very quiet, knowing that we have the answers deep down as well, seeking solitude, retreating for a little bit, okay, thinking about our privacy. If you think about perhaps losing a loved one, you want your privacy. You want to be in your, a lot of people may want to be in their own space. Of course, there are other ways that we can handle grief. We could perhaps go out and party and use certain substances as a way to numb the pain. But the whole point of this is Chiron looks at, okay, address this pain. Again, Chiron can signify then these very things in the chart. Chiron is also spiritual. It's very it's tied to that which is deeply, deeply healing, basically. To comfort ourselves through the pain. We still live with our pain, with our injuries, with our wounds, but we can shine a light on the methods and the remedies we use that we can use perhaps to alleviate our pain, or perhaps we can prevent other wounds from happening in the future. Okay, so Chiron then in this way can indicate things like rehab, medication, recovery, repair, symptoms as well. But if we do not have the knowledge to go along with such things, then perhaps we're more likely to repeat the same sort of patterns and cycles. And whilst Chiron can point to things like cures and medications and removing toxins, I think the symbolism of Chiron here goes much deeper. And I think it does look at those psychological and those emotional wounds. And then it is that pain and that suffering we experience that can perhaps be passed on to others through our own wisdom and knowledge, right? We can help others, we can support others. After all, it is the centaurs in the birth chart that are strongly connected to the unconscious. Working with the unconscious, though, it is not so black and white. But again, make sure that you check out that video for more information. Okay then, Cosmic Warriors, so that concludes my video talking all about the symbol of Chiron. Please let me know if you found this video to be helpful. Did you learn something new? I would really appreciate your feedback. And like you, I am always learning. And as always, you can find the sources that I used in this video in the description box down below. And I just want to say thank you so much to my patrons over at Patreon. Thank you so much for all of your support. Do let me know your thoughts and your opinions on today's video in the description box down below. But with all of that being said, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And of course, if you would like to see more videos from myself and you have not yet subscribed, then make sure that you click that subscribe button and also give this video a like if you did like it today. And I will be back with another video very, very soon.